How is my price per share so destroyed? What should be done differently? Welcome to crypto. We invested more than $200 million like on late stage companies.
I call it as a Berkshire Hathaway of Telegram ecosystem.
Is a lot of tokens connected to the real business with revenue producing. There's only one. It's called TON and the platform called Telegram. If you go for speculation, it's a path to nowhere. You're going to receive 50% of your position and then 4 months
Vesting.
In 10 months, you're going to have your fully liquid position on NASDAQ.
So instead of waiting for 4 years, you can be fully unlocked in 10 months.
Yep.
Hello and welcome. We're here at Holistic Investments and I'm your host, Constantin Kogan. And I'm excited to have an amazing guest today, Yury Mitin, who's a partner and CBDO at AlphaTON Capital. Hi, Yury.
Yeah, hi, Constantin.
Really good to have you here. We planned it for quite a while, and I'm really excited to talk about AlphaTON Capital. It's for me, when I did my research, I call it as a Berkshire Hathaway of Telegram ecosystem.
Maybe it's a bit too much, but thanks for the intro. Okay.
Well, now we'll unpack why is that so. Traditionally, we have to throw a legal disclaimer first that this content is for informational purposes only, and you should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or any other advice. Now we want to jump right into it. Your firm's basically one of the top 3 publicly traded companies and digital asset treasuries that is focused on TON ecosystem, right? And there's a lot to unpack there. We are actually really excited to learn more about what you've built. But before we're gonna go right into it, I want to learn about you, Yury. Right? You started your career from in private equity. You've been in the space for decades already, and so tell us, how did you jump from traditional TradFi into Web3?
Okay. Thank you for having me and thank you for your questions. So first of all, I'm a big fan of technology from my 20s. And when it was the beginning of the internet, I was it's really interesting how it's going to be, who's going to invest in this ecosystem. And as a startup founder first, being an entrepreneur and running your own business, I decided maybe it's interesting to invest in these companies. And that's how I get into venture capital. And for the last 17 years, I started from the early stage, moving to the mid stage, and last 7 years I was focused on late stage. So we invested more than $200 million on late stage companies. Some companies already been public, and my personal experience in this ecosystem was always traditional markets, private equity, venture capital, nothing to do with the public markets. But one of the first investments that we've done in 2021 was the company called eToro. You probably heard about it.
Of course.
And the company went public, and it's pretty big experience for us being a minority investor there. And after that happened, I was thinking, interesting, now it's a public markets. Maybe one day we should try to list company on NASDAQ. It was just, just an idea first time. Then in 2021, on eToro, you can also trade crypto. And if you remember, in 2021, eToro tried to go public, but they couldn't do it because the SEC told them, guys, if you go there, you have your crypto asset, digital asset, whatever it is, it's not going to happen. And the deal postponed and it only went public in 2025.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, 17 years in venture capital, 4 years in I would say 6 years of private equity. First listing of the company in 2025, and then digital asset treasury companies where we become a partner. I'm going to give you more information when you ask more questions.
For sure. I think one of the questions that is I think pertinent to whatever is happening right now, the market is in a weird turmoil, and at the same time we have 300 plus different digital asset treasury companies. It's becoming more and more challenging to differentiate one from another. And what I love about what you're doing, first of all, you have an amazing CapEx team, Brittany, Enzo, and yourself, all of your 3 are really experienced, and you have, I would say, you have a very good combination of people who are adding with expertise and skill sets. And I know all of you separately. That's why I can clearly talk about this part. But what I think is important, to talk about the core differentiation, right? So people are staking, people are holding that, and they consider that this is the main revenue and bread bringer for the publicly traded companies. And we see that when the market goes down, it's not sustainable enough. So can you explain us a little bit more how with your merger and acquisition strategy, like, multi-vertical revenue stream strategies, how are you different?
Okay. If you look at top 30 crypto companies at CoinMarketCap and the tokens, you will see like different names of like 3 letters, all right? One token, another one, I'm not going to point on anyone, but just saying. Do you know a lot of like crypto companies that underneath there is a platform, a messenger with 1 billion plus users, with financial projections, it's a public information, like $2 billion plus in revenues, 700 million in profits, and I'm talking about Telegram. So when the idea of digital asset treasury companies come like to my desk, as I can say so, I got call from Enzo, like he's a managing partner of Alpha Sigma Capital, and saying like on the 1st May, I do remember this day, he was like, it's a hot summer right now for digital asset treasury companies. Everybody want a copycat like MicroStrategy. Now it's called strategy. Like buy token, hold it, list it on like NASDAQ. It's going to be MNAV multiple going to go through the roof. You're going to make 20x in like 2 weeks. Everything's going to be nice. And you remember this hot summer when it was like billions of dollars invested in NASDAQ. And he asked me, what do you think about like different kind of tokens? Top 30 at CoinMarketCap. And I was saying, is there a lot of tokens connected to the real business with revenue producing? There's only one. It's called TON, and the platform called Telegram. And he was like, all right, let's start this idea. And on the 1st May, we started like, I would say, exploring this ecosystem, how to enter the markets, what should be your strategy. And we understood that this is type of hype markets that were in the summer, that they should end it. And if you just a copycat strategy of the Michael Saylor, who's like a brilliant guy, he find this idea in 2020, and he ride this wave for 5 years. He made billions. He's like maybe one of the well-known like speaker in the crypto industry. But when other guys decided like just to copy him and saying like, I'm like this treasury, I'm that treasury, and on summer it looks really great, and a lot of speculative capital came there. But we realized that if you go for speculation, it's a path to nowhere. You should be focused on value for your shareholders. You should focus on real business. Real business is platform called Telegram. You know it. We use it. We chat it, like even like to organize this, beautiful interview. And TON is like the only ecosystem that exclusively works on this platform. That's why for me it was like no-brainer. We should go there.
So first, so you unpacked the focus on the TON ecosystem, which I fully agree. I think right now, if you look at just simple chart, not financial advice in terms of buying TON, but like you clearly see that it's undervalued, right? So if you compare it to like the big contenders like Solana and Ethereum, their market cap and TON market cap with the $1 billion distribution network, it's still very early. However, there's a lot of other like concerns about TON ecosystem generally, and I think it's fair to address them. And some of them is their tokenomics, some of them is like how they manage, and allow other companies to kind of acquire this big chunks of like when you buy it in tens of millions. We talked about it privately, and I hope we can discuss it a little bit openly, that it's not that easy to even acquire big chunks of TON. There's a lot of negotiations which you have to pass through the foundation. So can you clarify like what was one of the most challenging parts of even getting into TON ecosystem?
First of all, the TON ecosystem called the open network. All right, so it's open for the builders, it's open for developers, it's open for investors. We were one of the investment companies decided to run this idea. And we are not the only one. And the ecosystem saying like, okay, guys, if you want to bring new capital, what are your intentions? Who's going to be your partners? And when the Telegram and the TON Foundation realized that behind us, like pretty well-known investors, like one of your guests here was like Animoca Brands founder, and Animoca is one of our investors. When the Kraken, the company that made some big announcement, also like invested in us. When you see some big market makers, when you see some big like institutions that are trying to invest in us, and they not only trying to invest, they just committed to invest in this ecosystem because we're opening new market called North America. And it was in alignment of the foundation and Telegram because like they were thinking to open this North American market. Not a lot of users know and investors know that inside the Telegram, there's a Telegram wallet. And before this summer, you couldn't use it in North America.
Yeah.
You could not. But in other regions, you just can open it. There is like your crypto assets, could be like BTC, could be Ethereum, could be TON. And we could like easily inside one super app transfer each other. And only in summer, it was officially open the market. While we're talking like in November, it was like official launch. You can now send TON inside this ecosystem. So to get to this ecosystem, you have to prove your investment thesis. Maybe it was not so easy to get there because like a lot of investors are saying, oh, okay, so there is like you said, different ecosystems, bigger like market cap. Yeah, but do they have like this mass adoption of 1 billion plus users? No, they do not. There are some problems in the ecosystem, yes, we know. But 2 years ago, there was no DeFi moment in Solana. There was no DeFi moment there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of time and development. If you're playing speculation, just copy pasting like digital asset treasury strategy, you can see what's happening on the markets. It's all red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's fair, I think, to talk about others, right? And to see, like, I interviewed people who are doing, like, obviously Bitcoin. I mean, I have an interview, by the way, with Michael Saylors, in 2020.
Wow.
Right? So I actually knew that it's going to become big. I think it was a genius idea. At the same time, I think it's also logical to criticize a little bit what's happening right now in MicroStrategy. We see there's a huge, plunge in happening, and like we understand that big institutions, they no longer see the sustainable model in this, like, always take debt and buy BTC, just only this model, right? Mm-hmm. You're going in a path of acquiring other businesses, right? You're from the public...
I would say revenue-producing businesses with profits, right?
Amazing, right? So this is, from what I read, like, in the pipeline, you have about 120 companies inside the Telegram ecosystem, right? That you're looking to acquire, right? Can you elaborate a little bit? First of all, how do you approach what is your due diligence project, so that and how do you make sure that these businesses, I would say, sustainable and become the intrinsic part of your publicly traded company?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the question. So first of all, it's more than 1,000 different developers who are building mini apps in the Telegram, 1,000 plus, and there are some. In other blockchain ecosystem, there are developers who are building there and they want to enter TON as well because they want to enter the Telegram ecosystem. So it's thousands of startups globally, in thousands, maybe 10,000 plus. So when you have this type of pipeline, you have to select, now we're going back to TradFi, multiple own revenues, multiple own profits. And one of the first announcement of the LOI that we've done, it's a gaming company, where TON Ventures invested, where Animoca Brands invested, companies 11 years of experience, of building games. And now they have games inside the Telegram. You can go there inside and just play the game. Company with profits. Now, how do we evaluate it? So there is a big incoming, deal flow into us. Every day you open your Telegram, you open your email, you see another startup, want to raise some money, are going to be a billionaire, please invest. For that, there is accelerator, there is a TON Foundation, there is a grants program, there is a conferences when they can meet you or me at the conference and say, hey, that's what I'm building. And I've been to this venture capital from the early stage. But since we are the last mile before liquidity, we are the last mile because if in the old journey from startup to public equity markets, we're like the IPO story for Telegram startups, Telegram companies with revenues. And if we're going to support early stage, it's going to take us maybe 7, maybe 11 years to IPO. The company called Stripe is still private.
Yeah.
eToro took about, almost 20 years to get there.
Kraken is still, it's going to IPO soon. I'm an investor. Trust me, I'm waiting.
Are you waiting? Okay.
I'm waiting for...
Yeah, I hope bear market is not going to be soon, yeah. All right, but I was saying, if we're going to focus on early stage, so there is a big ecosystem, there is a grants program, there are some accelerators, and some interesting accelerators are talking to us and thinking not investment advice again, but thinking how to partner, how to help develop the startup. We're in the business of the late stage and going public. So that's why the company with 11 years of experience with revenues 5 million plus and projections and profits, they are a good target for us. If the company is making, $500,000 a year with small profits, we can consider it could be on the short list. But this is about the financial metrics. If we look at the verticals, because obviously we're not going to invest in everything, that the gaming is huge in Telegram. First, number one. Mm-hmm. NFT 2.0 only exists in Telegram. There is no NFT 1.0, all these bored apes, whatever. It was ugly, first of all. The second, it's a beautiful stickers. All this collaboration that Telegram did with celebrities.
Snoop Dogg, recently they launched.
It's sold in seconds.
Yeah.
It's going to be famous stars, sports athletes. you want to have this type of like, you want to like send a birthday gift like to your wife, to your girlfriend, like to congratulate somebody who make it public. You want to send him a sticker. It's all happening in Telegram. It's NFT 2.0. And I think maybe it's going to be some marketplaces. Maybe it's going to be some interesting, I don't know, creators. Maybe it's interesting to invest there as well. DeFi is like a way to go. There's not so many companies with revenue and profits in DeFi. We know it. But we believe that, like in Singapore when we met, like in Token 2049, I guess, yeah? Mm-hmm. So there were some startups who already like launched token and have revenues in financial sector, in fintech, and derivatives, and making some revenues and profits. In the beginning, they made some revenues and profits. Then was bear market, they lost some money. But we still think that DeFi is an interesting market to go. I mean,
so we talked about the three major verticals. So let's pause on a second. There's a lot to unpack there, right?
Absolutely.
So first of all, like from what I understood, so you're obviously talking about like only TON ecosystem. That's your main focus, and you're selecting the winners already who are income producing, so revenue generating. So the minimum threshold that we're talking about is like around 1 million, right?
I would say 1 million like ARR, like annual run rate. When you have 1 mil, it's a good starting point. And if you're like close to, you can see the profits, and it's going to be like maybe. We see the numbers is going to be there, then we're interested. But we're only interested in acquiring 51% or more. Right?
That was my other question.
We are not a venture capital, like early stage invest there and wait for something. Like control, you get it, you like it, we like you because we are the marketing machine. You see, like we do, announcements every day.
Now, if I would take a devil's advocate hat, like, and I would ask you, like, how on earth you would be managing 120 companies simultaneously?
All right. So you said three of us, like our like co-founders, like who like started this business, like Enzo, Brittany, and myself. We have a team like about like 15 people right now. So we're building investment company. We have CTO. We have like guys on outsourcing who are going to help us. Make a technical due diligence of the company. I'm not the developer. I like in capital markets and venture capital world, all right? So then we have partners. We have partners like, first of all, there is a foundation. They do their work in terms of like looking and screening the first stage of the companies. Like I've been at a StoneFi event like in Singapore as well. And there was like a demo day in some gaming companies from Europe, from Asia, from Japan. There was some like interesting entrepreneur. He was presenting. I was there like, I just joining like, it's like a Shark Tank, like this famous like TV show when you just join like this panel of the judges and investors, and you see like different stage of the companies. But we, as at the company being listed on NASDAQ, we could not go like at super early stage, at least in this first or second year. Maybe in 5 years from now, we're going to build the biggest ecosystem, but we're going to build it together. It's not something like, we always say, we're not about like competing between like each other internally. We just want to have like, I remember 2024, when the founder of Telegram, like Pavel, was speaking in Dubai, TON was like in top 10. We want like our goal, I said it like in our official announcement, I want like in 2026, TON to be again in top 10. Why not?
I truly believe that eventually, like, TON has a big upside, just like as you mentioned, because of the organic distribution on TON. But if coming back just to close this part, right? So let's imagine a company with a 1 million IRR, right? So you like the team. You're like, it's a later stage team, obviously, right? So that and you negotiate 51%. Like, what can be roughly the valuation? You don't have to be specific on but like, what are we talking about ballpark for someone who's listening and maybe considering to apply?
I'll talk about the multiples. Like when we talk about like the bullish markets when crypto is through the roof, like, I don't know, like BTC should be 200K, maybe entrepreneurs are going to think, it should be 20x revenues with no profits. Right now, it's close to bear markets. You're welcome, you see it. And we're talking about, 5x revenues, maybe multiple to profits, okay? Because we are traded on Wall Street. And Wall Street, the place, if you just buy something super high valuation, you can go buy some AI companies that going to be burst in a couple of years. You're welcome. But we not recommend it. We are sharply focused on revenue-producing businesses. Telegram itself, it's in the DNA. It's a company run by 50 people with global business built in 14 years. Why should we invest in like big bubbles? Excuse me, we're not there.
Totally understandable. And as you mentioned, like $2 billion revenue like in 2025, where there's $720 million in profit, right? Which is impressive, right, by itself. Now, but only now they're coming to be like, profitable, right? Before that, it was like a lot of investment. Pavel on a podcast with Lex Friedman told that most of the money were invested by himself. Like there was a lot of other groups that invested. But closing this topic, like, so the upside for the young or maybe like medium, like, level project that already established on Ton is that they will also have a partner like yourself, like, as a publicly traded company that eventually not only you bring to the table expertise of growing this, scaling this business, right? You're also like introducing them to a very different, like, big boys game, right? Where they eventually become the upside. Do you give them some other preferential treatment or maybe some of the upside of your company?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not just, there is some, in venture capital world, they're saying there's a smart investor and just a venture capital tourist. Those guys who just like throw the money and just thinking it's going to go like 10x. We're the smart investor. Like we give added value. First of all, as I told you, and I think Telegram also and Ton Foundation thinks about us as a marketing machine. Because like in the public markets, you have to be active every day. You have to explain to your investor what's going on. You have to explain not in a private conversation like in private equity or venture capital. It should be all posted. It should be all public. Recently, we announced we're not going to be only focused on buying Ton as a core digital asset. But for the TradFi guys, we're going to buy Telegram bonds, for instance. All right? It's another one. And when we are talking to like the founders who are going to us and saying like, guys, I mean, what else can you do? I mean, look at our network. Look to our investors like who already published, like it's all disclosed, like you can go any disclosure. You can go to any AI agent is also a big thing in Telegram as well.
So the price that you pay for the company should be also publicly disclosed?
Once it's closed, so there's a letter of intent. Mm-hmm. We put it, we disclose it. And during this letter of intent, usually it's like from 2 to 3 months when you close the deal. Mm-hmm. Once the deal is closed, we should add it on the balance sheet. You're going to see all the numbers there. In quarterly earnings, like if you go there, you'll present it, you're going to see it as well.
So roughly it takes a quarter before it hits your balance sheet?
I would say yes.
Great. And how many companies so far have you acquired?
So you've seen about like 10 around letter of intents. Yes. Some of them super big, some of them a little bit smaller. So by the end of the year, we are happy to, close at least one, maybe 2 deals. I'm not going to be like super excited and saying like bigger numbers. We hope to do it, but again, team of like 10 plus people running 7 different verticals, like running on a speed of light, like 60 days. 60 days ago, there was not such a company listed on Nasdaq, okay? And if we were talking this interview a year ago, and imagine we're going to say, it's going to be like 300 plus digital asset treasury companies on Nasdaq. The biggest like ETFs in the world, and the institutional investors going to invite everybody in New York. We're going to say, I think something is wrong here.
Yeah,
it's a new reality.
It is,
and you have to be active and fast in this world.
And you're the pioneers of the space. And ironically, we also hear like some excitement at the same time, some precautions where. Traditional institutional players say that from the 300 companies, most likely only 10% will survive. Now, if we're talking about it like, openly, right? So what will be your biggest criticism from what's happening with other digital asset treasuries, and how are you doing it differently? We talked about the merger and acquisition strategy. Mm-hmm. We talked about like how you're active, like generally helping the businesses to grow and
correct.
That improves your balance sheet, of course. What are the other like secret sauces that you have that no one else is like doing?
Okay, first of all, like it's a meeting of two worlds. Public equity, Wall Street, 100 years of experience, like the public markets, we've seen it all in the movies. Meeting the crypto world, it's like another world like built in 15 years. And the guys who are crypto, they call themselves like, crypto entrepreneurs. Some of them call themselves degens. And like they like entering the public markets with some kind of, let's just create a group in Telegram and post like what they're going to do. Like this investors insider information. I don't know what it is. Like it's going to be so easy. We go there. It's going to be fine. It's so stupid, number one. It's like you have to obey the rules on Nasdaq that have been created 100 years, right? Second, if you copycat everything, like in Ethereum, it's about 20 plus different, in Bitcoin, maybe it's 100 plus.
Yes.
And when you go lower in it's a madness. It's different, just different tickers, and how they even have a competitive advantage. If they all just say, buy token, hold it, everything's going to be fine.
How many on Ton right now, total?
2.
Only 2?
2.
So you're one of the, not even 3, I thought for some reason.
There was some, we hope big guys like, first of all, big VC guys like Sequoia, Pantera Capital, they invested, Coinbase Ventures invested in Ton privately.
Yeah.
And now you also seen Ton being listed in Coinbase as well.
Exactly. By
you
the way,
see?
like 2 weeks ago.
We hope these guys go. We're waiting you on Nasdaq. Why do you don't go here? Because it's tough market. Every day you open like your chart, you see chart, whatever you go for Nasdaq or like different app, eToro or like trading. I don't know where you go and check and what you see is it red or green. But when you private equity markets, you're fine. You have your fundraising like for 10 years. You have your cycle. You're not like interested in like checking the price per share every day. And that's why it's two different worlds. And when crypto world, when it's like a lot of HFT investors, market makers, different kind of meme culture, meeting the public markets. I mean, this where like I think was really hot summer. And now it's going to be really cold winter. And maybe bearish winter. That's what I think.
Well, again, so let's talk about how does the funnel work? How do you increase the interest, right? Because of course, yeah, it is challenging. The stock market is a very different animal than like the traditional crypto investors. And I do agree with you that a lot of people misunderstand this. They think that miraculously they will launch and people start buying their stock. And we see clearly it's not happening. Someone like Tom Lee, who is like prolific in the stock market, has an upper hand of someone, I don't want to put some names, even the big foundations who are doing the same, but they're not obeying the rules. So I agree with you on that part. Now, let's also talk about openly. So you have only 2 companies that you're considering Ton, like who are big contenders still. And it gives exposure, right, to traditional bigger institutional investors to Ton. There's no other way for now directly to purchase it, right? So this is another thing. Maybe you can explain it a little bit better because for retail, yes, now we have Ton Wallet is open in the United States finally, only this year. But for institutions, there's not many options right now, right?
Yeah. So for institutions, like 5 years ago, it's all started. They couldn't buy Bitcoin. And the seller was the first guy saying, guys, just buy my stock, it's going to be fine. And that's how the wave started, all right? So now institutional investors maybe can buy exposure to crypto through Coinbase and buy shares of Coinbase. All right, interesting. Now it's like creating a gateway for institutional investors to top maybe 50 tokens in crypto. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And for institutional investors, they just don't understand how it's like some companies saying like, one of the stupidest mistake I've seen when like a digital asset treasury company, when the stock goes down, they say, I'm going to buy back my stock. So if you're a digital asset treasury company, you should buy the token underlying asset. They're trying to buy back the stock and the Wall Street is like, okay, nice. And short sellers are here.
They're going to offload it.
All right. So, and when you look at our board and our advisors, for instance, like we have such interesting investors like Skybridge Capital, Anthony Scaramucci. One of our advisors like is Jimmy Rogazinski from Wall Street Bets. Another like the board member, like it's Michael Turpin, like he's a famous author like of a Bitcoin like books, like a big investor in Bitcoin for like a lot of years. So, and when you see this type of experience, and when sometimes like investors like, I give you an example. Usually when I go to venture capital conference or crypto conference, like 2 different worlds. And this year I went to microcap conference, microcap conference for the companies like below maybe 50 million. You go there. It's a little bit strange world when it's like some moms and pops investors. It's some small hedge fund managers like up to maybe 20, 50 mil. And then some kind of interesting guys who are trying to sell you convertible notes. And they're saying, hey, go, just interesting convertible note. And I think a lot of investors are trying to do it. But for digital asset treasury fund managers, I'm going to say, if you just take this convertible note, legal wording, and just try to, with AI, legal AI agent, just try to read it. Usually it's going to say, if you sign for this, it's going to be like a death spiral. It's meaning like your stock going to be with a discount, on a discount, on a discount. In like 1 month, you could be out of the business. If you have your wise investment bank, whom you listen to, maybe you will avoid these mistakes. But I cannot say that we are like so great and like we did some mistakes, but we fix it fast.
So when do you think BlackRock is investing in you?
Do you have his phone number? Like, can I call from here?
Yeah, I'll share you after the interview.
Yes. We would like, no comments, like, but Thank you for the question. Yeah, sorry.
Now, coming back to, sorry, it was I had to like be a bit sarcastic
yeah, I
about
just need some word after these questions. Like,
but
I don't know what our legal team will say after that. All right. So, okay.
in talking about the capital allocation discipline, so obviously you come from traditional background experience, and you have, you have particular verticals of how you offer the highest immediate returns, right? So returns on capital, so which vertical offers the highest immediate return on capital in 2025?
For us.
Yes.
Okay. I think gaming, number one. I think there's an interesting announcement that founder of Telegram, Pavel, did about like Cocoon AI. I think it's pretty interesting story. And we made our announcements here. And our CEO, like Brittany Kaiser, before is her third company listed on NASDAQ. And her previous entity, she sold to American Bitcoin. It was like a Bitcoin miner. And if it's going to be like interesting infrastructure, AI infrastructure with assets, with revenues. And I think it's pretty, maybe not in 2025, but in 2026 is going to be really, really interesting.
You talked also before about AIagents, like the importance that the DeFi right now currently is not very developed in AlphaTON, but why do you believe AIagents inside Telegram will be one of the fastest monetizing verticals in the future?
I'll give you an example. It's like in my phone, I think in your phone as well, you can go for ChatGPT, you can go for Gemini, you can go for Perplexity. But if you go inside your Telegram and you go for OpenAI, there is no OpenAI inside the Telegram. If you Google and go for Gemini, it's a different platform. But if you go for Perplexity, there is a Perplexity inside the Telegram. And for instance, when I was looking how to get to the studio, I was like asked not to Google, I go for Telegram, open Perplexity, and just typed inside the product and said how to get there. And now there could be AIagents for anything you like. What should be the design of my, apartment? You go for this AIagent. What should be a financial or an investment advice? Where should I put my, this year annual bonus or like my lifetime savings? And you go for a financial AIagent there. And where you go, you just go download the app, or you just go inside your home platform. And you have to understand, all crypto, we know it in Telegram for 10 plus years. I'm user of Telegram 10 plus years. Same. So you should go on a different platform, or you just stay inside the super big app, and just go in this AIagent that everything is AI right now.
Yeah.
I hope we are real and we're just talking like not as an agent, so right?
Not avatars, the real check is. It is true. And I think in terms of UI, UX, Telegram has an unparalleled ability to listen to the end customers, right? Which is super important. All the features they integrate, I clearly focus on what they're announcing is actually the things which I would be really excited, if I would just offer them, my 2 cents, right? But let's talk about also the DeFi, Sar, and the staking, right? So your institutional staking yield comes from about 4 to 6 million ton, right? Stake via p2p.org. I actually spoke with them recently, and then it goes to BitGo, right? As a qualified custodian, one of the oldest in the United States.
And BitGo is our partner and one of the investors as well. Okay.
Correct. So how does the staking revenue integrate with your acquisition strategy?
You can acquire companies with your shares. You can acquire companies with your tokens. Mm-hmm. And now think about it differently. If in 2025, in Q4, we're going to add, and we already announced, we're going to add Telegram bonds, they give you yield 9%. From this 9%, we buy more TON, that gives you 4%. And it's kind of like a cycle that you can reconnect and generate TON for this digital asset treasury. This is how real digital asset treasury should work, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when the company comes to you with the good revenues, you can say, okay, I can invest in you in TON. I can invest in you in my cash on the balance. I can invest in you with my shares. 3 options. And depending on the company, on the stage of the company, we can select how to do it. And our chief investment officer and chairman, Enzo Villani, he worked for 10 plus years in NASDAQ, all right? So he worked DF King, the guys who are doing M&As every day. They're doing M&As like the printing M&A machine, okay? You have to just understand, first you need to show all the transparency in numbers. When some startup is approaching us, he's like, this is like FDV, there's no revenues, it's just a token, just buy us, just buy us for, 50 mil, okay, can you buy 50? It's not gonna be like that. It's not because we are so aggressive and angry guys, no. It's because the markets works like that. It's like Wall Street works like that. It's like venture capital works like that on the late stage. If you're in an early stage, you go to business angels. You go for different conference like across the globe, and you find these believers in the ecosystem. You ask them to invest in yourself in tokens. Here you go, in real money. This is how you do it. Or you launch your own token. You can do it. But if you approach this late stage player, you should play by the rules. And these rules are financial numbers. Because we need to present it to our investors. Fiduciary duty and to create shareholder value. This is the main goal of every public company.
Which I think that's also a unique perspective. Maybe like really short summary of who's going to be the issuer of Telegram bonds, because this is the topic that not many are familiar with, and how will you interact with them?
Okay, so this summer, I think, it was like another bond like issued. It was like oversubscribed. 1.7 billion was sold totally. And if you call investment banks right now on the Wall Street, you couldn't find it. You have to call the secondary transaction. I mean, investor who already hold it and do it via secondary transaction. If you go and if you call Telegram and just, or text them and say, I want to buy bonds from you, you're going to say, we don't have it, sorry, sold out, or stay in the line, maybe for next issuance. And why you buy these bonds? Because it could be, converted into the shares of maybe one day, I don't know. Officially, everybody said, founder said, the company never go public in upcoming, at least like 3-4 years.
Is it a U.S. company that issued the bonds?
This is the part I couldn't tell you.
Talking about the other acquisitions, like you were talking about, like you were talking about Gamey that was lined at AlphaTON.
Wait a sec, not U.S.
Not U.S.
Because Telegram is registered offshore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted.
And by the way, we're also registered offshore. Okay, just to be fair disclosure, you go there because like you could be listed on Nasdaq and have an offshore company.
Where are you registered?
BVI.
BVI, British Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Why? What was the choice? Why BVI?
If you're a foreign issuer, you have like more flexibility, for instance. And the crypto world also understand for the last 5 years, the crypto world weren't in US. Even there was no like jurisdiction like Wyoming to get there, Delaware. Nobody wants to be there. In 2025, rules has changed, and we know who changed them. Okay, so we've seen like the Genius Act. We've seen like all these listings of like companies like Circle and Bullish and different kind of crypto exchanges. And now, it's a new world and you have to play by the rules. Or you can have like company listed in US. It's one rule. If you have a foreign company, you can also be listed on Nasdaq. But this is just a different set of rules. For instance, when you said quarterly earnings for a company registered in US, it should be quarterly. For foreign issuer, it could be 6 months. But it's up to us. We can say every 3 months we're gonna make it transparent. You can go there, investor login, and just like public information, our assets, our funnel, what we have, our revenues, our balance sheets should be there.
So we talked about also that you're acquiring Gamey, which will give a ton exposure to a massive existing user base, right? So you're acquiring about like 90 or 60% stake? 60% stake, right? So that's impressive.
Acquiring, but definitive agreement when it's going to be closed is going to be announced, okay? So right now it's in letter of intent. When it's closed, it's closed. It's
so
legal.
Okay. So that's congrats on that part. And I obviously implore everyone to look at what they're doing. I also read about your recent, communication and press release about like you're acquiring blockchain wire to power tone-based verifiable new layer, and potentially Forbes affiliated franchise. Now this is huge media play, right? And what on the one hand, my first reaction, I was very excited. I was like, wow, this is impressive, right? But then I started to ask myself a question: what's the actual valuation of this share? So that would mean you need to raise more money to acquire this. Can you help us to understand more? How would that work?
Okay, in the media business, like in Telegram, there's channels. Okay, you could go and search for Bloomberg, and you find Bloomberg like news. You can go search for Bloomberg crypto, and you find some Bloomberg crypto news. If you go for some big branded names in media, right now they are not there because it's just only entering North American market. And I think the big problem in the media is a lot of fake news. It's a lot of you couldn't verify is it true information or false. And if you put it on a blockchain, or you can do a verification, maybe it's an interesting play. Plus our when you said a Tom Lee, when you said Michael Saylor, it's a media brand. And media brand reflected in media followers, in investors, and reflected in the stock. So our CEO, Brittany, she has a big publicity as well. So that's why if you're in the media world, you have to play by the rules. You have to be public, and you have to be on different platforms. And you should be developing in Telegram, okay? Because we already announced it. It's all in our DNA right now. So about the media brand. So it's under NDA. I couldn't give you any kind of financials, and obviously.
Of course.
But I can say that the media businesses for new generation and the crypto, it's a new generation of entrepreneurs and investors. Do they read old school media? I don't think so. Do they kind of go and search everything on websites? Maybe they just go for, I don't know, social media. Maybe they go for social platform like Telegram and go for the news. Maybe they ask their friends. And I think that the big media are struggling right now. And the owners of these big media brands are thinking maybe we should sell it. And they're looking for the buyers. And I'm talking not like specifically about this media that you said about, and we made some announcement. But generally, I think like a lot of like, have you seen Successions? Have you seen Successions like series? I mean,
it's a great series. Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's a real world. Yeah.
But so just a clarification, quick one on this topic, right? So you're not talking about a traditional Forbes media, like you're talking about the Forbes like inside the Telegram, like the rights to be like the kind of.
There could be multiple ways how to make this live, right? But again, it's under NDA. Everything that's written in the LOI.
Got it.
It is there. So I couldn't give you a lot of information here because it's like...
Not more than you already put in the press release.
Go there and check everything. And
yes, and the press release you already have. So
I don't want to have like no comments, like not investment advice. If you need like that, I can reply like that.
It's okay, yes. We talked about Cocoon. We talked about other things. One of the things where we had a private conversation with, which is also, I think, worth talking about is TON Card. It's a joint venture with MasterCard, right? And what's the immediate go-to-marketing strategy for the TON MasterCard?
Okay, so first of all, like when you go for crypto exchange, you can see like crypto.com has its own card. Yeah. When you go for and the card could be virtual or could be physical.
Yeah. Coinbase also has.
You see, like every exchange, you want to have this connection from the crypto world to the offline world for old school TradFi investors with the big pockets and wallets. We made this announcement because like we think that it could be mutually beneficial to enter different markets. Okay, North American market is a new market that's opening right now. There is a European market, there's an Asian market, and there are different partners and developers who want to build it, okay? So our goal is to be this ecosystem player. We don't need like, we are the only one. We should be the biggest one. The market will, resolve and will bet on the biggest and leader in this ecosystem. Our idea is like for MasterCard and for physical users who like don't like to pay in your wallet and pay in crypto if you go and buy for your coffee, I don't know, in a restaurant, they need something like a physical card. And to connect them in North America, for instance, you have to have like a partner. We already select one partner. But I want to say, like, it's not something that we're going to do it for all the global world. We're going to only one. We're going to do it. We just compete with the Bybit. We're going to compete with, crypto.com, with other platforms. The same as Telegram competing, like, with WhatsApp or Biden's TikTok, whatever. It's like global competition, all right? And it's nothing bad. It's just like how you manage the markets, how you enter the markets. So for MasterCard, we have big plans. It's a huge project. Something is already announced. We have like a chief of partnerships who already been announced and who is like driving this opportunity. So,
So how would that work briefly? Let's say I have TON on my wallet, right? And I have this card, so I can transfer directly to the card and then go buy Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, you convert to stable coin, for instance, USDT or some other stable coins, all right? They're not only USDT, all right? USDC, for instance, maybe USD1, maybe other one, I don't know, okay? I just give you an example. And you convert it, and you just have your fiat, and you go and buy it.
Perfect.
So, and it's all, like 4 years ago, we were talking about it. They were going to be like, are you nonsense? What are you talking about, guys? Now it's like, it's a legal business in North America. And I think it's in different jurisdictions across the globe.
So that will give you more users, obviously more adoption and ability to kind of have, people with their liquidity to kind of convert into real world.
Yeah,
right?
Because otherwise, I don't know how crypto guys are buying coffee. I don't know, but
it's a complicated story.
But if you want to do it for like the traditional investors who are like more from venture capital, private equity, real estate world, they want to like card physical. It's like connection to your wallet that could be also inside the platform or to your other wallet. Whatever.
Yeah. I think it's fair to also mention that even currently the Treasury trades about like 0.70 cents of the MNAV, right? So again, I know it's just because of the like time frame where we're talking about.
Because of the bear market. Look at other Treasury guys who like almost destroyed, yeah.
Exactly. So it's still, I would say, reasonably very, very conservative and then very reasonable we're to the reality of the market. Still, I think one of the questions which I got like before preparing for some of the community asked them, what would you ask? How how do you basically close the gap?
Okay, so I think it's a market showing you. When it was a premium on the market, it was a lot of speculators. They were like, let's buy here. It was like a lot of tourists, public equity investor who want to just make quick buck. And you've seen it, usually how it started, like you make an announcement, it's going to be on any token, 10x, 20x in first night. Usually it was announced on Sunday. For Monday, like first day, like 9:30 a.m. in Monday, like it's like a pop, like it's like blast to the moon. And when there's a registration of the shares, it's usually like minus 70% when it goes down. And now market is saying like what's happening right now during the bear market for crypto and for altcoins who've been smashed massively, Wall Street is saying, guys, we don't understand what you're doing. What is it? MNAV. A year ago wasn't even such a, like only a seller who's like the big guy, we get it, great guy. He was the only guy who was like promoting this MNAV as a multiple in the financial metrics. A year ago in venture capital, I never heard about this MNAV. What is it? And right now, like institutional investors are saying, MNAV, is it a real metrics? Asset, if it's an asset that minus 70, 90% from year to date, how it could be even treated as an asset? So that's why it's super volatile crypto world. That's why institutional investors are a little bit shocked. I mean, how is my price per share so destroyed? What should be done differently? Welcome to crypto.
Yeah,
as we say.
Well, to be fair, like small cap stocks, also their net asset value drops like tremendously. Sometimes they're manipulated by big, short sellers like all the time. So I think it's not only unique to crypto market, but I think the marriage between the traditional world and crypto now adds additional risk and additional spikes in this volatility, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, if we're talking about like your operational, I would say acumen, treasury appreciation. Let's talk about like what are the KPIs that people should watch and focus on, like recurring revenue, ton holdings, staking yield, M&A synergy. What are we missing? What we haven't talked about?
Yeah, all right. So I think first of all, like it should be assets under management, like it should be treasury itself. And in our case, it should be like built on two things: Telegram bonds and ton crypto asset. Okay. Then you have like revenue producing companies. Another layer, think about this as an investment company, as I say, it could be a venture capital firm with a listing on NASDAQ. So you need venture capital firm to have like the revenue producing companies. And it's better that it's going to be 10 companies producing all revenues, not just, one unicorn and 9 going to zero. I mean, it's different approach. So that's why we're going to focus on the companies that are going to have revenue. So for the next 12 months, we're going to have like at least 7 leaders in 7 different verticals. All right, it's going to be announced. You're going to see it on a website. It's going to be all disclosed. All right. So what else? I think it should be the media publicity. It should be. I mean, every day we make a publication about TON and we're saying about Telegram. So I think it also should be we're helping this platform to grow into North America as well.
Yeah, and they're helping you too, obviously, right? So,
because it's a win-win situation. It's a mutual partnership.
Yeah, the future of TON obviously is great because they moved from $173 million in loss to $540 million in profit, right? Just in 1 year.
Yeah, for Telegram, yeah.
Yeah, so that already shows you the opportunity and the flip in profitability. TON mini apps are booming right now.
Correct.
1 billion plus in monthly average user base, so which is huge, and I think it's growing even more. Let's talk about a little bit you as an insider. Obviously, you know the Telegram.
I'm not an insider. I'm just giving you information that's all public.
Of course, but I'm saying as an insider in the context that Telegram ecosystem deeper than I am, right? Because you spend more time with the foundation,
it's our
right?
daily operations.
In this context, right? So what do you see, which regions will be the earliest adopters for TON payments and mini apps, where we should focus maybe some other people who want to collaborate with you?
Okay, I still think DeFi in a few years should be there. I'm personally bullish on DeFi. I mean, maybe it's not there yet, but it should be there. Media is also interesting. Media, companies, AI agents. Here we go. Gaming already there. If you go for the gaming, it's like a lot of companies. We remember different kind of games. So you can spend there a lot of time, money, and be not so happy, whatever. It's gaming. It's your decision, all right? Not ours, okay? And also like NFT 2.0, it's already there. So if you ask me 3 verticals where my personal thinking and saying as the partner, and the part of our big team of AlphaTON Capital, so I think AI agents definitely, DeFi definitely, media yes, and number 1 project that we are focused right now, and we already, I think when this review going to be live, it's going to be announced. Cocoon AI thing is going to be there. So I mean, this is going to be huge.
And geographical exposure. So your focus right now is mostly on North America?
To be honest, we have partners in Europe. We have partners in Asia. Animoca Brands, it's a big Asian player, 700 plus companies. Kraken right now is entering the public markets in North America.
Yeah.
We have investors in Europe as well who invested in us. We have different regions, and we're going to be building and growing. So this is like part of our team. Like our team is 24/7. I have team like somebody on the West Coast, on the East Coast, in Europe. So usually when you open your Telegram chat for our team, like it's like messages like every hour is like something is going on. It's like nonstop.
So crypto don't sleep. Yeah.
Maybe, but
well, you're lucky. For now, we have publicly traded companies that still have a break on weekend, right? And
it's going to be holidays, Christmas,
Yes.
And sometimes I say to investors, just stop looking at this goddamn stock every hour because it's just deteriorate you.
However, the ton is 24/7, right? Because it's listed in different type of.
That's why a lot of investors. I can tell you one story. Mm-hmm. So we have ton holders who just came to us and said, guys, is it possible to swap our ton holdings into your shares? It is possible. And there are rules like by Telegram, it's all approved officially. So there is a lockup, there is like unlock, and you can do it. And for a lot of ton holders we have investors who already did it pretty in a good sizable position in ton, and it could be locked that you could convert to your shares.
So let's define it in specific terms.
Okay.
So let's imagine someone has, for the sake of example, $1 million worth of ton, right? And they have a lockup. What is a typical lockup period?
Up to 4 years. Usually
up to 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're locked 4 years, and they cannot do anything with it. They cannot liquidate, besides the fact that they can stake, maybe, right?
Yes, they can stake.
But they cannot sell it, right?
How it works. So usually it's 4 years. After like first 12 months, it's like cliff. You do nothing. You bought this asset, you believe in this asset, you're not panicking and selling like as a paper hands, okay? So after a year, it's going to be like every month is going to be vesting, okay? It's going into your wallet. This is how ecosystem works. And for instance, you bought it a year ago, and when you say it could be private investor, it could be institutional investor. Remember like big guys like Pantera, as Sequoia, and other VC firms from like US or globally. So, and they have this 4-year vesting is like a 4-year commitment. And now, new like institutional players appeared, digital asset treasury company, and you can convert it and swap it into the shares of the public listed company. And the rule is going to be like that. If you swap it, it's going to be 6 months lockup. Usually, if you're investor of late stage and the company goes public, you investor in Kraken, yes. So after 6 months, you're going to be locked up. Usually, okay.
Of course.
And after that, you're going to receive 50% of your position, and then 4 months.
Vesting.
In 10 months, you're going to have your fully liquid position on NASDAQ in the company that not only investing in just one token, but just you just having exposure to this whole ecosystem.
So basically, in short, so instead of waiting for 4 years, you can be fully unlocked in 10 months.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's a huge value proposition if somebody wants to.
But you have to think, if your ton is locked, probably is not the price as a liquid of ton. It should be some discount. Excuse me.
That is between
negotiations.
You and the
we're not going to bargain right now.
Yeah, not right now. I'm not selling anything. One thing I would ask you, where, this is, by the way, this came from the last question came from the community, which when they were trying to find where to buy the shares, it was a bit confusing. What are the major platforms where people buy stock?
Okay, so it's developing because you have to understand it's only 60 days, 2 months that we've been listed. Okay, it should be open in different platforms from Revolut to big, if you open your brokerage account at any kind of broker we are working on that right now, but it takes time because if you go for different platforms, you can see different number of shares, different valuation. So, but in general, we're working on that. We're going to give access to the community of stockholders and stock investors, in public markets. We're building it right now. We're giving this access. And for the crypto guys, if you want to get exposure to public equity world, you know how to find us.
Let's talk about some of the Blitz, right? So really short version of what we're expecting in the future. So what does AlphaTON look like at 7 completed acquisitions?
So if we complete 7 acquisitions, I think it could be $1 billion company valuation, to be honest.
Wow, that's very bullish. The most underestimated ton vertical?
DeFi.
What will surprise investor in 2026?
A bear market.
One metric you want every investor to track.
Okay, price per share, number of users in Telegram, and price of Bitcoin.
One closing message to shareholders, your shareholders and the TON community?
Diamond hands. We're going to get to top 10 soon.
And the final and probably the most important question to you personally, Yury, like, what's the meaning of life to you?
Help your family. Build business that you love.
Beautiful. Look, I think what you already have achieved is tremendous. Like with your 20 plus years and like, VC, private equity, and now you're becoming it's your first publicly traded company, right? You have a killer team, like you have a great vision.
In a good sense, yeah.
Yes, and in a good sense. Like you're when we're talking about the aggressive part of you, like I think this is the good part of being aggressive and being innovative at the same time, not being like, just like, I think the energy is still very positive coming from you. Like, and at Holistic Investments, we accept only people with good heart. Like,
okay.
I have a very strict filter.
Okay, I don't know.
So we met last time in NASDAQ. I saw how you operate. Like, I know there's a lot of empathy beyond the fact that you guys are, like sharks in capital markets. You still kind of, you're very considerate towards your investors. You're not trying to oversell everything, which is already a huge,
Not
thing.
an investment advice. Yeah, you have to make your decisions wisely. Yeah.
Yes. So where's the best way to find you? Like, is it Twitter, LinkedIn?
Telegram.
Of course. What is your handle in Telegram so people can message you?
It's all, you go on the website. It's you can find me. It's Red Shark 007. Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to post it and everyone wants to contact you.
Yeah,
you'll provide
you're
more
welcome.
information.
You're welcome.
I sincerely wish you luck. I think what you're building is really, really innovative. It's very early, and I understand being a pioneer comes with a huge price, right? And it costs.
It's tough, yeah, but interesting, yeah.
But I'm sure you're going to make it because I can see that the team is great, the perseverance is there,
Thank you.
The approach is very reasonable, right? So I implore people who are watching this to take a closer look at the website. There's a lot of information there. Obviously, we're going to post all the links, and I think that when TON is gonna in like 3 to 5 years is going to become the major behemoth in the crypto world, you're going to reap all the fruits that you are like planting now.
I hope, yeah, thank you for this. First of all, thank you for your like invitation, and I hope like the crypto world going to be merged with public markets and everything going to be not bearish but bullish.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Yury.
Thanks.